Welcome back to the show. Check out these headlines we have for you this morning. Major currencies switching to ISO2022. We also have BRICS looking to kill the dollar in 3 years. Ripple strategy have a huge payoff. Oh, I think you're going to love it. R3, Swift, and XRP. $250 trillion market. Citibank and new CBD launch by the end of this year. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on Twitter and YouTube for exclusive content. Right now, $1.1 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is off by 0.9%. 27,000 slightly over for Bitcoin. 1,500 and change for Ethereum. Tether market cap 83.5 billion plus. Number 5 spot 48 cents now. Off by 1.9 is XRP on the 24-hour and off by 8.7% on the 7-day. Oh my goodness. You know what? You got to have a strong tummy to be in this space, right? Well, let's get into this, ladies and gentlemen. It's Miles Franklin, Precious Metals Investments. I want all of you to do me a favor. I bet this guy, I told him, I said, you know what? My audience loves precious metals. They love glint, and you know you love glint. We know you love glint. Buy, save, send, and spend. Real gold instantly with glint. But let me tell you, you got to click the link underneath the video. But do me a favor, reach out to Miles Franklin as well. But you have to tell him, Brad Kimes from Digital Perspectives told me to use the code DIGGOLD, D-I-G Gold. Miles Franklin's got the best prices on precious metals that you can have physically delivered in your hands. And more importantly, you're going to call the number underneath the video and talk to a real human being. Now, how rare is that these days? Make sure you try to call that number and tell them that I sent you. The best prices around, I tell you right now. Chad Steingraber shows the article here. We covered it. We didn't cover it yet, but I saw it going around, and I read it, and we're going to talk about it here. New Development Bank from BRICS Coalition officially announced a 3-year plan to completely end reliance on the U.S. dollar. Still think it's a joke? The 3-year de-dollarization initiative will lead the BRICS to settling trade in local currencies and not the U.S. dollar. You know, a lot of people don't know about the BRICS coalition. Look, I make no mistake about it. This is why I have a glint card. This is why I'm telling you, call the number to Miles Franklin. Get yourself some physical gold in your hands and make sure you have something that can hedge these trying times, this transition that we're going through. I love taking risk in high-risk environments like crypto, but I tell you, having some real gold in your hand, there's nothing like it. Make sure you call and tell them I sent you. I tell you, this is very real, and this has been escalated now. And we've said we're not so concerned about the BRICS currency they want to make as a reserve currency. This is the first step by settling in local currencies of the countries within the BRICS coalition. You know, I tell you, this is a very, very big deal. We got to watch this closely, and you know that the U.S. has to do something. You cannot sit back and wait for that 3-year mark to happen and watch 30 to 40% of the GDP of the world stop using the U.S. dollar and not have a plan. Okay, let's understand that. And let me tell you speaking about a plan. Ripple strategically expands its routes in the corridors with the highest remittance volume. Not a mistake, ladies and gentlemen. Ripple has covered 85% of these regions. A final settlement of the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit will help things move quickly. The remittance image is from the recent Citibank paper. Right here, you can see the level of remittances here includes 47 countries, accounting for 90% of the global GDP, and it lists these countries here, majority of which are inside of BRICS too, by the way. Let's remember that one. But then here's some great work from a guy we don't get to talk about much. It's Working Money. Working Money channel does a great job. Shout out to him. I hope he's doing well. And XRP Drops as well for sharing this. Great work here from Working Money Channel for pointing out some of the deep relationships to Ripple in the Thunes Payment Global Network chart. That's this. Thunes is a Ripple partner. Let's understand that right here. Ripple partner Thunes secures new license in France, launches global payout solutions across the EU. We covered that when it happened, but I just want to get that tie-in for you so you understand. Take a listen to this and look at all of these incredible. As a matter of fact, let me open this up here.
Our ability to deliver money into those markets.
So the clip ends there. I just wanted to point out some of these relationships that Thunes has with other Ripple partners too. You know, it's a great flow chart here just to kind of show us what companies are active in which countries or which regions of the world, which continents like Africa. We can see some Ripple connections through M-Pesa and I believe NFB. In the APAC region, we have DBS, another Ripple partner, Alipay, WeChat, right? Bcash, another one, PNB. And then just kind of going around here, just off the top of my head, World Remit, WorldPay, Worldline, Société Générale, Remitly, and we also have Visa, MasterCard, of course, RIA, another Ripple partner, Payoneer, Bexis in the Americas, or Bex, just to name a few. So
it is a big, big deal to see that network inside of Thunes and understand the relationship with Ripple. Again, let's bring the macro to this. 3-year plan for BRICS to ditch the US dollar and go to local currency trade. Okay, right? Just so happens that the case in the United States has forced Ripple to pursue their strategy around the world as if they had already lost the case, but in fact have won in great majority, right? Well, this has been a smart strategic move because Ripple has continued to build the reward level and diminish the risk, right? Because what they've done is say, you know what? We're going to make sure that we build the relationships in all of the other countries where there isn't an issue and get those corridors open and moving, however small they may be at the time. And look at what the stage is truly set for now. That's really the play. That is true strategy right there. R3 Corda Settler Code, which shows the hooks into XRP Oracle alongside Swift. Now, we know R3 Corda Platform Settler allows you to settle with digital assets. XRP was the first one to be tested out. And obviously, R3 Corda Platform is set up to use multiple different digital assets out here. And XRP is, in fact, one of them. And you can see here through the code, because of Chad Steingraber's great work here, import code R3 Corda, finance Ripple types, XRP payment, XRP settlement, Swift services right here through R3 Corda as well. Swift payment status type. Look at all of this happening here. All of this is going to be, when I see this, I see a reflection of the internet that we have today. Multiple different networks and systems working together for one ubiquitous experience. That's what I see happening, and that's why I believe we're going to see a combination of many different winners that have been geared for the moment that's coming. Ripple, XRP being one or two of them. Looking right here, Citibank recent paper, who will be moving $250 trillion in the next 5 years? Quick listen to this fast clip.
Citi have published a paper on the future of cross-border payments. Can you tell us about it?
Sure. So in the paper, we are discussing who is going to be moving the 250 trillion or so in cross-border payments 5 years from now. We know who is moving it today, but the players who are moving it today and the players who are going to be moving these funds down the road are going to be different because of the transformation which we see.
Bingo. And that transformation, just to look at some of this, you can see here, back in 22 of August, Citi appoints ex-IBM R3 exec to lead digital assets for treasury trade. There's that integration. Looks like transitional team acquirement of the kind of knowledge and players from different areas to bring them in. And don't forget, there is no direct relationship that I'm aware of between Ripple and Citi. However, Citibank extends its partnership with Ripple-powered Volante Volpay, which is a huge connection, which tells me there's an indirect relationship to Citi, and that $250 trillion that the gentleman was just talking about Citi settling in the next 5 years. How much of that will Ripple-powered Volante do? I don't know the answer, but I bet you this, and this is one of those college terms, a lot. I bet it's a lot. And then there's this. It's the continuing move and the adoption of CBDCs, for which you're hearing major announcement at Sibos. Switzerland will begin live transactions with a CBDC at the end of this year. Months away, ladies and gentlemen.
Actually, two other points, but the last one is, as an FMI, we need central bank digital currency. So today, an FMI settles in central bank money for good reasons, to make sure that we reduce risks and counterparty risk and have a bankruptcy remote asset for settlement. And we don't have that today. So in our case, we're using tokenized Swiss franc and tokenized euro, which is things that we create based on cash that hits our account at the Swiss National Bank, and then we tokenize SDX. So there's an exposure to us. The good news there, in Switzerland at least, is that we will be starting with real-life transactions in CBDC by the end of the year, meaning that the Swiss National Bank will be the entity deploying Swiss franc in tokenized form, so CBDC, on our infrastructure for settlement. So that's a barrier that is lifted. It's going to be a 6 months trial to start with, but it's promising, and I think other central banks are looking at that, and I think it's really important, at least for FMIs, to play. And the last one is mindset. I think this is...
There it is right there. That is happening within the next couple months, 6-month pilot right there, and then probably a full-on rollout, ladies and gentlemen. And then there's this. There's no choice. Major currencies are moving to ISO2022, Bank of Israel. Take a listen to this.
Not like we woke up and we say we're going to do ISO because that's what the world needs. The major currencies are moving to ISO. There is no choice. So that boat has already left. Right? It's left. We cannot go back, because as the major clearing currencies move to this rich data, anything is going to follow on that front. So let me illustrate how difficult it actually can be to be instant and frictionless by showing you a picture. This is illustrative, right? You will see a chain of banks that are processing a transaction cross-border. Usually the transaction is initiated by a customer somehow. It hits either PSPs or a financial institution. It is usually processed in one country or one jurisdiction, and then it needs to cross over that little bar there, cross the borders, and to go to another jurisdiction. And you have important roles to play that the intermediaries play. The intermediary banks that hold liquidity, this is the biggest asset of the economy. They are key to make sure that transactions flow in between. Now, those could be done by PSPs that hold account in several jurisdictions, or banks that hold accounts in several jurisdictions. We see a future whereby those ecosystems are going to hit RTGS, ACH, instant payment systems, that's what IPS is for, CBDCs, tokenized ecosystem, digital currencies. Instant payment systems, that's what IPS is for, CBDCs, tokenized ecosystem, digital currencies, digital wallets, right? And the way either you build a different system along the chain for each, or you try to be smart about it and you say, okay, how do I make sure that we are interoperable? And on the top, it's a linear chain. On the bottom is some of the experiments that are happening, where, for example, a lot of market infrastructures are experimenting. How do they interlink? So, for example, the Bank of Israel recently launched an experiment where they interlinked with, I believe, Sweden, Norway, to issue CBDCs cross-border. These are schemes that can work as well, right? They can interconnect directly the liquidity between the two countries.
Cross-border, digital currencies, major currencies moving to ISO 20022. We've understood this. ISO 20022 standardizing the messaging of the financial system the same way that the shipping industry was standardized, with the same ships, the same cranes, the same containers, the same style ports, the same trucks to carry them. This is the standardization that's taking place in the financial world. Don't believe it, it's still true. And all the people who told you that ISO 20022 is only about messaging are really misleading you. Because although that is legitimately accurate about standardization of messaging, and that messaging protocol has been around for more than a decade, but the reality is it also allows them to move and settle the value from coding digital assets as well, along with that new messaging and rich data collection. And don't believe that. It's still true, because all the major currencies are moving there too. That isn't my opinion. That is the Bank of Israel, ladies and gentlemen. And it's not financial advice from me or anyone else. That is where we're going. I'll catch all of you on the next one.